Sitting here with Harley Johnston, more commonly known as During Rider. So, we're here at Doug's Health and Fitness Week, and we mentioned something earlier about your VO2 max.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that again?
So VO2 max is the body's ability to uptake oxygen and put it into your cells.
Why would that be important?
The more oxygen you get to your cells, the better you can perform, the better you can think. That's why a lot of cyclists use blood doping. So you have more red blood cells, you can get more oxygen into your system and get them to your cells, and energy goes up. Or they use EPO, which increases red blood cell count, and that increases oxygen uptake. So things like that. So I mean, it's oxygen. Breathing's life. If you don't breathe enough, then I guess the analogy would be like trying to run and just breathe through your nose. You can only do that so far, but if you can breathe through your mouth as well, you can get more oxygen in. So that's why VO2 max and having it higher is better for performance.
That certainly seems to make sense. So, we touched on something though, that you seem to have raised your VO2 max, and this is supposedly very uncommon, or perhaps even unheard of.
Well, people who raise their VO2 max generally is indication of EPO use or blood doping, two illegal practices in cycling and running. I've talked to some professors about it, and they didn't want to know. They did sort of a bit skeptical, and I'm like, well, yeah, your fellow professors actually did the study. They did my VO2 maxes, and I attribute that to dietary changes, but they didn't want to know about that. And when I asked why, they're like, well, Harley, we didn't get sponsored by the banana industry or the tofu industry. We get sponsored by the meat and dairy industry. They directly sponsor our university, so for us to do study on a vegan or plant-based diet would go against our sponsors' requirements, so we don't really bother with that. But if you can get us a sponsorship to do the study, we're more than willing. But so far, yeah, there's not much money in the sort of that industry.
So we can see the importance as far as oxygen. What's another main reason for doing this diet, or for pursuing this lifestyle to this extent?
Just feeling good. Like just before, I had a 3-hour sleep nap on the trampolines over there in the sun, and it just felt bliss. You get in touch with your body's requirements when you don't have all the animal adrenaline in your system, or you're jacked up on coffee or caffeine or cacao or whatever. You're not jacked up on stimulants and animal adrenaline all the time. You get more of a feeling what your body needs. So my main reason I eat this way is to feel good in the moment. And I've tried all the other little programs and things, but this one that makes the most sense to me, and it leaves me feeling the most vitality and vigor and participation in my daily reality. I get a greater participation in my daily reality on this lifestyle. And it's good. I like to be able to be in control, so I can always feel good. I mean, I like to be able to know 100% I can run up this big mountain up here. I can run from here to the top of that mountain and back down, as long as the bears don't eat me.
Same day.
Yeah, easy the same day. And that feels good, being able to do that. When I used to have chronic fatigue, when waking up and getting out of bed and going to work at the shoe store was a challenge for me sometimes. And now I can just run up any mountain I want. It's just, yeah, that's what I call it, fun. That's another motivation for living this lifestyle.
A little bit of motivation for others too is what would be the opposite of having a high level of VO2 max?
Be low level would be what you see walking around the street in your local town. It'd be people, gasping for breath just to walk up some stairs, or gasping for breath just to, catch your children, or gasping for breath just doing basic things.
But say I'm not an athlete and I don't really need a high level of VO2 max. What's really the danger of having low oxygen levels?
Well, it's bad for your cells. I mean, we know cancer cells can only live in an environment with low oxygen. So the higher oxygen you got, that's what we're looking for. That's why low-fat diets are always better. That's why vegan, low-fat, high-carbohydrate diets are better. That's why low-fat, high-carb, raw vegan diets are best, because they allow better oxygen transfer, uptake, delivery to your cells. So in terms of cancer prevention or cancer reversal, that's what we want. We want a high oxygen versus a low oxygen environment. So VO2 max, increasing that, definitely a fan of it. Not through blood doping, not through EPO though, definitely not. So people often say, I'm not an athlete, Harley. I'm like, but life is sport. Life is hectic enough. If you're not an athlete in life, you're on the bench, you're on the side bench. Everyone's got children or work or relationships. These all require a lot of energy, and that's athleticism. If you get up every day and you work at something, whether it be a recreational sport or your family or your garden or whatever, you're an athlete. So high VO2 max is what we want. And it's not about, overtraining yourself or becoming like a maniac. It's just about moving your body, having fun, playing and eating right and getting lots of sleep and eating a whack load of carbohydrates every day. So being active isn't a chore. Because most people think of activity, they're like, oh my god, I can't do that. Because they're so undercarb, they're so low in carbohydrates, they've got the undercarbed coma they're into. And once you get some carbs into them, some fruit especially, then they start to snap up a bit, especially a few days of fruit or a few weeks of fruit and early nights and hydration, things start to change. And all of a sudden the person who dreads exercise now goes, I have to exercise, I have to move my body, I have to play with my kids, I have to ride my bike to work, or I have to run up the stairs past my colleagues at work just to have fun, because otherwise I feel like I'm missing out. So that's the importance of having fun and having a high VO2 max, in my opinion. I'm an athlete for life. I'm not an athlete for the next 5 years. Doing drugs, eating shit, burning myself out, that's not for me. I'm an athlete for life, because life is sport. And if you're not fit for it, then you're on the side bench. You're missing out. I do not want to miss out in life. I want to experience life every day. And that's why I eat, drink and sleep so much. Just so I can, when I'm conscious and walking around, I can be part of it. I can give versus just be, just floundering.
Life is sport.
Life is sport, man. 100%.